ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। एतेषां पंचतत्त्वानां समष्टि सात्विक अंशात् मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्त अंतकरणानि संभूतानि संकल्प विकल्पात्मकं मनः निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धिः चिंतनकर्तु चित्तम् अहं कर्ता इति वृत्तिः अहंकारः मनसो देवता चंद्रमा बुद्धेः ब्रह्मा अहंकारस्य रुद्रः चित्तस्य वासुदेवः। As we have been discussing that how this creation starts getting unfolded. When we discussed this Chaturvinshati Prakaraha, there are 24. We discussed very carefully. First called Tanmatraha, what we called as Shukshma Bhuta, subtle elements. Because I am making sure so that you have to get acquainted with the Sanskrit word, so that later on I will be using only that. Because this is called methodology of teaching. Or else every time if you expect me to give the translation, it's not possible and it will get diluted and we will not be able to cover, neither will be able to understand anything. So first we discussed that Pancha Shukshma Bhutani, 5 subtle elements. Then from that what happens? From Bhuta comes Bhaudika, like as from matter comes materials. That was the second stage. Third stage we discussed that Stula Bhutas, Grossified elements. Then finally comes Stula Bhautika, like our body or whatever we see in this creation. So while discussing, we were discussing how this Brahmasraya Maya, having 3 aspects, that Sattva, Raja and Tamas, does this creation. And there we discussed also, already we have covered, from Sattvic aspects, all Gyanendriyas, and along with, because each Sattvic aspect of element, one Gyanendriya, and finally put together all the 5 elements Sattvic ansat, Sattvic aspects comes called inner instrument. So what are the inner instrument? Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Because this is very easy to remember in this process. I'll try my best to share the chart once the text is over, so that it becomes easier for you to keep in your mind. So here, that means it's very clear when each aspect each element, sattvic aspect of each element is connected to one sense organs. Now put together all 5 subtle elements. From that sattvic aspect comes antakarana. That's why antakarana becomes the guiding force for all sense of perceptions. The inner instrument, whether it is called mind, when you put together 4, mind, intellect, memory and the ahankara, the ego. So these 4 becomes the guiding force for all sense of perceptions. So this is the link. You can see how it is being creation come and how it happens in our day-to-day life. Okay, I understand everything is covered. Then what about this rajasic aspect? Sattvic aspect is taken care. So there should be something related to rajasic aspect. Let us read. What is rajasic aspect? Etesham panchatattvanam madhye akasasya rajasa amsat vak indriyam sambhutam vayoho rajasa amsat पाणीन्द्रियं संभूतं वह्नेः राजसंसात् पाद इन्द्रियं संभूतं जलस्य राजसंसात् उपस्थ इन्द्रियं संभूतं पृथिव्याः राजसंसात् गुद इन्द्रियं संभूतं एतेषां समष्टि राजसांसात् पंच प्राणाः Sambhuta. As we have seen very carefully earlier, like the sattvic aspect of each element is able to produce, or from that one sense of perception was born, so also here says that each element, and that to rajas aspect of each element, produces one called organs of action, karmendriya. So that means jnanendriya, organs of perceptions, connected to sattvic aspect of elements. Now the organs of actions are connected to the rajasic aspect of the elements. That's why all the organs of actions are more, action oriented. That's why they are called, organs of actions. Because that Raja Guna is there. So Raja Guna pushes, the Rajasic aspect pushes more activities. So it's beautifully. So if you look at this from Akasa, the Rajasic aspect of space, the back Indriya. So back Indriya means the organs of speech comes. Because we can have a look at very carefully. Please, I will try our best to give some connection so that it becomes easier for you to really look into, which I have not, I am just trying to look at. See, Akasasa Sattvika Vamsat Shrotra Indriya. From the Sattvic aspect of space, the organs of hearing. Now here he says, from Rajasansat, same space, comes back Indriya, organs of speech. I hope you are able to see the connection. Because when you make sound, then only you can hear. You understand the connection? The sound and the organs of hearing. Now, says, Vayoho Rajasansat Pani Indriya Sambhutam. So from Vayu, from air, the hand comes. So when it says hand comes, now we have to look at what there was being said. So there it was said that Vayoho Sattvika Amsat Tvak Indriya Sambhutam. So from Vayu, the sattvic aspect of Vayu, the space, the air, came what? Tvak. So when it says tvak means what? That sense of touch. Now when comes it sense of touch, now what happens? General mind is what is happening? Now this organs of touch or what you call skin comes. Now anything you want to touch, what does go first? Your hand goes first. Then comes Vannihi Rajasamsat Pada Indriya Shambhutam. So from fire, the Rajasic aspect of the fire comes Pada, the leg. So here says Agni Satvikam Sat Chakshu Indriyam Sambhutam. So Chakshu means the eyes, the sight. So now whatever you see, what happens? You want to go to closer and closer to see. Anything you see, you would like to go closer to see. That's why again leg is connected to that. Then comes Jalasya Rajasamsa Upastha Indriya Sambhutam. Because here also we have to be little bit careful, not that everything will be, like this, okay? So here from water comes genital organs. Now let us look at what's being said over there. There it was said that Jalasya Sattvikansat Rasana Indriya Sambhutam, the organs of taste. So when it says organs of taste, also let us not discuss, there is some connection is there. Then comes, finally, says that Prithivyaha Rajasamsat Guda Indriyam. So when it says Guda Indriyam, the organ of evacuation. So the organ of evacuation is born out of Rajasic aspect of Prithvi, the earth. So there it was being said, Prithivyaha Sattvikamsat Grana Indriya Shambhutam. The smell again is connected. Okay, fantastic. Now, after this, because beautifully says, okay, all these are fantastic, but all these organs of actions to function needs energy. So without energy, all these organs of actions cannot function. So where from it has to get the energy? Says, don't worry. That's why it says, Etesham samasti raja samsa pancha pranaha sambhuta. So put together all the 5 elements. From their Rajasic aspect comes 5 pranas. So hope you remember the process that we spoke. Even though prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana we talk, okay, very fast. Prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. But we try to understand little different way. So we explained very carefully. We said first prana, I hope you remember, connected to inhalation, very easiest way. Apana connected to exhalation. Then comes Vyana. The job of the Vyana is what? So whatever energy is there to circulate. The fluid, the whatever is there, already energy is there, so has to be circulated. So that is called Vyana. Of course, then there is some energy we need from raw material to make energy. The food that we consume, from that energy has to be created. So that is the job of Samana. And finally, of course, the best one is called Udana. We left it behind. Okay? Udana. So Udana does what? Takes care of the system perfectly. So whenever there is something poison, when there is some unwanted thing in the body, and prana understands very well, that's why what it does, it tries to remove it out through vomiting, different methods which we have discussed in details. So now he says all these 5 pranas are helpful for pancha karmendriyas. 5 organs of actions. That's why when your organs of actions are not able to function, that means what? You don't have energy. The pancha pranas are not that much active. So based on pancha prana strength and the power, all our organs of actions keep functioning. That's why sometimes we say, just a few days don't eat, do fasting. If you do fasting for few days, what happens? Fasting is, you understand, you will do, whatever you will talk, nobody can hear, okay? Because you don't have strength. Secondly, eyes also will not feel like opening. And hand, you will try to do such a way, like to lift your hand, it will take long time. And of course, forget about your leg. Because there is no energy. So when there is no energy, how these 5 organs of action will be able to function? That's why always we say, when the organs of actions are not functioning properly, that means your energy level is low. Develop energy. Okay, fantastic. I understand all these things. So what about tamas amsa? Sattvic is taken care. Rajasic also taken care. So definitely there should be something tamas. It's a beautiful point to understand here. He says, please read. Etesham panchatattvanam tamasamsha panchikruta panchatatvani bhavanti. Unlike sattvic and rajasic aspect, tamasic aspect has got unique approach, unique expression. Because in sattvic and rajasic aspect, you can divide, you can see them separately. Whereas with referring to tamasic aspect, you cannot separate. And moreover, tamasic aspect is connected to completely grossness. So he says, so that it becomes easier for us to explain further in our day-to-day life, he says that from the tamasic aspect of all 5 essential principles, tanmatras, remember all are tanmatras, sukshma, not gross. What we see the space, we are not talking about that. What fire we see, it's not that. What air we are feeling, it's not that. We are in the first level, okay? Please don't forget that. So what we see 5 elements, they are called gross elements. That's why all the science still is in gross level. They have not gone to the subtle level yet. Now they are trying to break their head that there are different locus, there are different type of living planet. Still, they have not come to the conclusion. So we have discussed the 4 steps how and 4 stages all in details. So here he says beautifully. So tamas amsat means the tamasic aspect makes sure that all the 5 elements, 5 tanmatras or 5 sukshma bhutas are together. And from that what happens says panchikruta panchatatvani bhavanti. From that 5 gross, or you say 5 grossified elements are formed. Means whatever 5 elements we see. Now what does it mean? We have to understand very carefully. You can see for yourself. Whenever there is grossness in you, you feel very heavy. Grossness means very heavy. In short, lazy. That means tamasic aspect is taking over. And the best example is the morning, okay? That's why morning you are supposed to be very fresh. Morning, if anybody, please understand how to understand whether you are tamasic or not. If there is laziness in you in the morning hours, that means definitely you are a tamasic person. I'm sorry to say, but I must say this. That's why the rule was make sure that before sunrise, because especially it was a Brahma Muhurtam, because this was very clear. I remember what a torture I have also gone through. In India, children go through a real torture, okay? You cannot think of. Get up, get up, get up. Especially this grandparents, okay? Appa, they don't have anything. They go to bed early and get up early. Wake you up. And in childhood, I remember, we have to remember all these tables. So in the early morning, wash your face and all these things. So some prayer has to be there. Then after that, start remembering tables. Appa, what? But I observe now when I looked back, it was a really great idea. Whatever they did without explaining, they did the perfect job. Because if you do not, you can see for yourself. If you do not get up, especially prior to sunrise, if you do not get up prior to sunrise, definitely the body will be heavy. The grossness in the body will take over. In fact, your body will have a lot of pain. Many elderly people complain that I have pain. This is one of the main reasons of the pain is that you are getting up after sunrise. Getting up after sunrise is not healthy for mind, not healthy for body at all. There are a lot of logics, lot of reasons. In fact, Ayurveda says very nicely, carefully. And scientifically, it also can be proved that after getting up, sunrise is not healthy for body and mind. So, coming back here, that if there is grossness in you, if you feel that you are a lazy person, the laziness really takes over you. That means there is tamasic aspect. The tamasic aspect is taking over you. So here he says that from this tamasic aspect, all the 5 sukshma bhutas, now this 5 gross elements are born, and is a process, through a process. The process name is called panchikaranam, called grossification. Okay, now question may arise, what is panchikaranam? What is grossification? How does it happen? We'll try our best to see as quick as possible, if possible today itself, okay? Panchikaranam katham iti chet etesham panchamahabhutanam tamasamsa swarupam ekam bhutam dvidha vibhajya ekam ardham pruthak trishnim vyavasthapya aparam ardham chaturtha vibhajya swa ardham अन्येषु स्वभाग चतुष्टय संयोजनम कार्यम तदा पंचीकरणम भवति. So over. I hope you understood. So if you don't understand, don't worry. Okay. Don't look at text now in details, because if you want to see later on also you can see. It's a very simple concept, so that it becomes easier for you to understand, which text talks step by step. How? First, you can make in your paper 5 rounds, okay? So each round stands for one element. So you can put space, air, fire, water and earth. So you can make first 5 rounds, okay? So once you made the 5 rounds, then what happens? Out of this etesham pancha mahabhutanam, out of this 5 and tamasic aspect, what? Ekam bhutam dvidha vibhajya. So each one is divided into 2 parts. That means in that round, make it half. So divide into 2 parts. Over. So once you divide into 2 parts, Then what happens? Says beautifully. Then first half is as it is. Okay, pruthak trushtim vyavasthapya, keeping it separately. Other half, what you need to do? Aparam ardham chaturtha vivajya. The rest half, divide into 4 parts. So the round in the center 1, then down 4. So when you make it 4, so now you have to be little bit careful while understanding it. Let us say you have put first one is space. So when you are dividing into 4, put S1, S2, S3, S4. So that it becomes easier for you to understand. Same thing also, you need to put what? That A1, A2, A3, A4. F1, F2, F3, F4. Then W1, W2, W3, W4. Finally, that earth E1, E2, E3, E4. Now it is being divided. I request all of you to have pen and paper. It's not mere seeing, understand, you will not work at all. Please. Because these are the basic things to be understood, or else this is no point of understanding either. However, says beautifully, then what is to be done? Once you understand this way, then what is to be done? Says beautifully, once it is there, swardham anyeshu swabhagam chatushtaya sayojana karyam. So now the next level is, now the 50% was left everywhere. That 50%, first you can make another 5 circles if you want to make. So when you make another 5 circles, again divide into half and make 4 lines without putting the names, okay? Now you write, the first one is space, 50% space, which was left. Now the down 4 are there. Now other 4 has to come, like that 4 you have put. You can put A1, AR, okay, A1, 1%, that A1 is there, A1, A2, A3, 4. So from that comes under space, 50% space, A1, F1, W1, E1. So that means what you call as a space, this is called grossified space. What you call as a space, 50% is space, 12.5 is called air, 12.5 is called fire, 12.5 is water, and 12.5 is earth. You understand the concept, how it moves? This is called grossification. Then next one is called air. So 50% top is air. There comes S1, because space was not, S1 was not used, okay? So now the space S1 comes. Air cannot come because air, this is the air. Then comes A2, because A1 we have taken already. A2. Then comes W2. Then E2. So that means what you call as, I'm sorry, I'll take few more minutes extra, okay? So what you call as air, that means 50% air, 12.5 is space, 12.5 is fire, 12.5 water, 12.5 is earth. Now let us go to the third one, called fire. So third one is fire, 50%. Then this 4 we have to take, S2, space 2, because we are taking from there, S2, A2, because being fire we cannot. Then comes W3, then comes earth, E3. So that means again what happens, what you called as fire, 50% fire, 12.5 space, 12.5 air, 12.5 water, and 12.5 earth. Now let us move to water. Water, same thing, 50% water, that 4 you can put it, S3, then comes A3, then comes W4. No, W4 already gone. Sorry. Water cannot come. Sorry. Thank you. So E4. Okay. No, E3 is there. Or E4. Sorry. E4. 1 minute. I have to remember. We are talking about fire. Okay, fire. E3. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. E3 and E3. Correct. So now perfect. E3 we have taken. So now that means what means? So what we call as water, 50% water, space 12.5, air 12.5, then comes fire 12.5, earth 12.5. Because I am remembering, because I don't have any script in front of me, okay? So that's why the number is going here and there. Then final one is called earth. So 50% earth. Then comes S4, then A4, F4 and E4, W4, water 4, okay, W4. So, if you observe, now we are talking about earth, okay, all are 4, okay. So in earth, if you look at the top portion is 50, now S4 means 12.5 space, 12.5 air, 12.5 fire, and 12.5 is water. So this is called grossification. So that means in short, what you see the space, what you see means okay, like what you look at as space, or what you understand better, what you understand as space, what you feel as air, what you see as fire, and what you taste as water, and what you smell as earth. Okay, these are the properties of 5 elements. That's why I'm talking from that angle. Are nothing but grossified 5 elements. And from this grossification, please understand, all the gross thing happens. Okay, why you are talking all these things? With this, we'll stop one more line. Etebhya panchekruta panchamahabhutebhya stula shariram bhavati. The purpose of all these grossifications are taught because out of these 5 gross elements, this body, this gross body is formed. That's why hope you understood that 4 types of the creation goes through 4 steps. Everything is completed now. Sukshma Bhuta, then comes Bhautika. Third one, Stula Bhuta, then the Sharira and all these things, the 4th stage. With this, why all these things? Evam Pinda Brahmandayoho Aikyam Sambhutam. In this manner, the main purpose of the scripture is, the teaching is, to make sure that there is no difference between microcosm and macrocosm. That the microcosm and macrocosm are related. This is how you have to arrive at. And how there is no difference, even though we see there is a relationship, there is a connection, but how they are not different, more of it we'll see tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.